Resting on the corner of Hancock and Susquehanna Street is a church with a story. Here, the members of the church are unified in celebration of all things, from spirituality to culture and community.
Those who are sick, those who are not well physically or emotionally or spiritually, Lord, and right now we lift up their names.
Its beauty is in its simplicity. Its magnificence is in its humility. Such a house of God could never be fully expected until experienced. This is the West Kensington Ministry at Norris Square, Philadelphia.
The purpose of this place, to have people be open to the beauty and to the mystery that God is real. And then, of course, to have a group of people think that way and worship Christ and be a community that supports one another and that stands on certain principles and ideals.
Of humble beginnings is how most great things begin. The Church of West Kensington is no exception. Once a small German Protestant church in Norris Square, it was in a significant spot during the Industrial Revolution. Here, the divide between the rich and the poor was greater than ever. Animosity was commonplace amongst the jobless, and the rich only sought to get richer. But church was church, a place where all men were equal. Many people would find themselves seated next to one another regardless of financial status. The church was a place open to all who entered, and by the end of the century, it had amassed 700 members.
That's the background of this church. The pastor was named James Crow from Ireland. He would go to the docks and welcome the recently arrived immigrants. And he'd say, come to my church and I'll give you a job, or I'll get you a job, because there were so many factories around here. And he had background in the textile mill industry. So he was able to get his parishioners jobs. And I do the same, but there aren't as many jobs here, right?
Fast forward many years, and the church is something different.
Let's start off with a prayer. So close your eyes. Repeat after me.
Adon Mairena, a graduate of the Austin Presbyterian Theological Seminary, was called to become the organizing pastor of a new church development in Kensington, Philadelphia. The church was closing down as the Norris Square Presbyterian Church and reopening as the West Kensington Ministry at Norris Square. Adon entered the church finding the building in limp quality, and the church itself missing any kind of consistent Sunday worship. All 700 of the church's original members had either died off or moved away, leaving the church entirely vacant. During that time, the leader of the church was Reverend Bill Gage, who held the crumbling church together for over 30 years. His greatest wish was to appeal to the people of the neighborhood in new and creative ways, and to keep the church as the unifying bond that held the neighborhood together. Since then, the church has become deeply dedicated in serving the people of its own community. But by holding many social events, the church becomes more than just a place of neighborhood worship.
And on top of that, I have to listen to the two of you squabble. Yes,
the world changes at such a rapid rate, and our neighborhood is in constant chaos, that we need to make sure that our goals don't become the things that we end up worshiping, that we end up idolizing. We have to make sure that our goals are actually reflective and relevant to people's dreams, desires, needs. Otherwise, then who benefits?
Every Friday, the children of Norris Square are invited to open mic, where they can sing and dance with their friends while their families know that they're safe in an environment that promotes peace and justice. On the weekend, families are invited to the Sunday supper program, where they can sit down and eat a peaceful, healthy meal cooked up by Linda Sandmost and her own volunteer crew.
The point of it is to change behavior somewhat, and it's not to say that they have been misbehaving, but it's to, I guess, to teach them a different way of eating and a different way of shopping, and most importantly, I think it's to change patterns, like to sit together, to eat together, to value.
Thanks to the Presbyteria, along with many other partnered churches, much of the building's original foundation has been rebuilt, and the church's congregation has reinvigorated itself through public events. Still, there is much left to be done. Although not currently open, the church's recording studio has the potential to attract neighborhood artists and empower them to strive for greatness. And as the church members climb in numbers, so does the possibilities for reopening the upstairs sanctuary, a beautiful part of the church that goes widely unnoticed. All of these things are possible thanks to the members of the church. Their faith and effort has been the blood and soul of the church ever since its humble beginnings. With their helping hands and the church's guiding vision, anything is possible.